Hey everybody, it's Mr. Eason, and today we're going to be talking about improper fractions and mixed numbers. What I would like to start with is looking at what an improper fraction is. An improper fraction is any kind of fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator, meaning there's more than one whole thing inside your fraction. So in this case, we have 7/4. Our numerator 7 is greater than 4. And so there are lots of ways that you could turn 7/4 into something that looks a little bit more appropriate, like a mixed number. We're going to go over a couple of those ways right now. The students have made fraction pieces, which could help. I'm also going to link an app in the to this. I'm going to link it in Google Classroom. And then there are other ways to do it without having to use an app as well. So let's go ahead and look at 7/4. I'm going to put a picture in here of what 7/4 might look like with fraction tiles. So you can see I have 7/4 now, counted out here. If you wanted to check, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7/4. And so what we're kind of thinking here is, how many of these would you be able to cover up with one whole? Meaning, how many fourths are in one whole? And if you think about, what a whole might look like, you're going to hopefully realize that it's going to cover up 4/4 of your picture. So I'm going to go ahead and show you another picture that has it covered up like that. So as you can see, we have one whole covering up those fourths. If you look really closely, you can actually kind of see those fourths in there. I'm going to draw them in there so that you can kind of see them. There is a fourth there, there, there. So you can see that you have some fourths in there covered up by your one whole. And so what you have left is you have one whole with 3/4 left over. So 7/4 is equal to 1 3/4. Now there are a couple of other ways we can do this, and I'm going to show you guys those on the next two screens. Okay. So the next one we have 10/8. So of course you can always get out your fraction pieces or use the app and try to build 10/8. If you do that, you're going to end up with an answer. I'm going to show you a way to do this without fraction pieces, but still drawing, because I think that is a pretty useful skill here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. Doesn't really matter what the rectangle looks like, as long as your rectangles happen to be the same size. The next thing I'm going to do with this rectangle is I'm going to split it into 8 pieces. I chose 8 because my denominator is 8. If my denominator was 4, I'd split it into 4 pieces. But since it's 8, I'm going to make 8 pieces here. All right, I've got 8 pieces. Now this next part I'm going to tell you is the thing that's kind of weird. And when I tell the kids this, it's kind of weird too. I want you to shade in 10 pieces. But Mr. Eason, you can't shade in 10 pieces. There are only 8 pieces. That's right, you can't. So what you have to do is you have to make another box with 8 pieces. I'm going to do that now. So now I have pieces. I'm going to go ahead and shade in 8 pieces in my model. You always want to kind of shade in, one whole first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10/8 shaded in here. And now we just kind of figure out what this is in addition to 10/8. So over here, I've got one whole, so I can call this one whole. And this picture down here, I have 2/8. So 10/8 is equal to 1 2/8. There's one other way you can do this without having to draw a picture, but still showing a little bit of work. And that is keeping in mind that 8/8 is equal to one whole. What you're going to do with that 10/8 is you're going to kind of decompose it, and which means break it apart. And if I break 10/8 apart, I can break that into a whole, which is 8/8. And that leaves me with 2/8 left. And then I can write this right here as one whole, and the 2/8 right beside it as 2/8. So I still get 1 2/8, and that doesn't involve me drawing a picture. Okay, we're going to look at one more example of this on the next screen. 5/2 is the one that we are doing, so I'm going to start by drawing the models. I'm going to get myself a box. I'm going to cut it in half. And then I'm going to shade in 5 pieces. But Mr. Easton, we can't shade in 5 pieces. I know. Let's see if I can undo that. Try it again. There's another one. Now I can shade in 5 pieces. No, not yet. Let's do one more piece. All right, now let's see if I can shade in 5. Let's choose red this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so then I count how many holes I have. I have 1 hole here. I have another hole here. I have a half down here. All together, that makes 2 holes and a half. So I could write 2 and 1/2. Now, if I wanted to do this with fractions and decomposing rather than drawing it out here, I could do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and write 5/2. And that's going to be equal to 2/2 plus 2/2 plus 1/2. And that makes 1 hole, 1 hole, and 1/2. So 2 and a half. Okay. There's one other strategy that there is for doing these. We're going to talk about that one a little bit later. So I'm going to keep that one for now. If you happen to know that other strategy and you can show that work, that is fine for you to do that for your homework. It's been kind of a longer video, so I hope you guys stick around till the end. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.